seeing the 25 pounder up. Piats blasting away at the Volksgrenadiers there, and looks like a force here was torn apart by the heavy weight of the howitzer shells, rather putting any stop to any sort of wehrmacht movements towards that area. In fact, looks like a sniper was lost even, my goodness. And Volksgrenadiers here getting torn apart again. Not much luck, and there does seem to be a sort of lack of focus from Broverlord, who really needs to keep his infantry together, but sadly seems unable to do that. And what is this? Keeping an MG42 inside this medic bunker. Interesting move. Although so far it looks a bit 50-50 in terms of man control, but in terms of losses, I'm pretty sure the Wehrmacht has suffered the most, having taken quite a beating. And we are seeing the first Sonderkraft Fahrzeug, armored car of the heavy kind, and sappers with Piats getting fired upon. In fact, let's go and look at Grimsdottir. Nice 2 shots from the Piats, and we are seeing, I do believe that is the Royal Canadian Artillery. In fact, infantry section put together from the casualty clearing station. Nice job there. Mortar pit still firing, and these grenadiers in fact might be in a rather nasty spot. Particularly now as riflemen are getting close, might drop some grenades, and grenadiers are getting out of there most swiftly as they are hunted down by the riflemen. Might be pulling back towards this bunker with the MG42. Fresh assault. Not a lot of infantry, again, not really much you can do an actual assault with. Sappers getting pulled out of there, sniper opening up, and 25 pounder hammering away. Well, there it looks like trying to get the sniper, but they do get out of there. Puma as well, not a lot of kills for those Pumas so far though. And I'd rather recommend, for example, that he uses this Sturm Armory to perhaps get some Nebelwerfers, and then perhaps again bombarding this position, of course, shifting the Nebelwerfers so they don't get exposed to counter-artillery fire from the 25-pound gunners, 25-pounder guns. And now looks like, my goodness, we are seeing some artillery right here. Most likely a firestorm. There we go. Perhaps not well placed. Might have been a bit better, a bit to the left. Might be another lieutenant's lost. My goodness, they are suffering some high losses in officers. These British, the 51st. There we go. Another lieutenant is lost. Riflemen moving in. And Puma's doing a bit of harassment there, sneaking about. Brent gunners might button one up, and then Piats might knock it out. But no, the Pumas are getting out there. Captain on the way. And we are seeing a jeep receiving some repairs. Grenadiers and pioneers moving out. But again, not a lot of infantry. But we are seeing Sturmtruppen now moving out. Probably from the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich, sending out what they can spare to hold the defensive line here at Duclair. We of course have to see how these stormtroopers shall perform. We are also seeing a tank depot coming up from Gaurav. In fact, an M10 tank destroyer has hit the field, and we are seeing the first misfire. But there we go, second shot does nicely. Puma not looking good, and we are seeing a 17-pounder gun coming up. Puma number 1 is out. Second Puma getting buttoned, and will probably get covered in Piat shells and of course M10 shots. That looks like to be some rather heavy losses. Again, Pumas are not sort of tanks. You can't just throw them into enemy lines and expect them to survive. And there we go. 2 Pumas lost in short succession. Mines being laid down by FriskyPiranha in an attempt to cover all of this terrain, of course, which he lacks the forces to actually protect. And further, Pumas, my goodness, he's just throwing out those without actually getting any artillery, which might actually be good against all of this. And now Broverlord's forces are getting forced back, even the stormtroopers. No Stu 42s to support them. Further stormtroopers hitting the field. No Stuk force either. My goodness, that's certainly not looking good. And mortar rounds are falling. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers moving in. And might take out this mortar emplacement though, before all is no, they are forced to retreat. Veterancy 2 is off, though, granting elite armor for the Grenadiers and Stormtroopers. For the Volksgrenadiers, it's only a small bonus in terms of suppression, protection, and of course, damage reduction. And Piet's getting torn apart by the autocannons of the Pumas. Last Zappa though getting out of there before all is lost, and an armored command truck hitting the field. And not entirely sure why this 25 pounder is firing there. But M10 taking on the bunker. Going to take a bit of time though. And the captain is taking a bit of fire from the Pumas. Grenadiers and stormtroopers not really forcing it back, but there's not really much the M10 can do either. And of course they might be getting Panzerschrecks any moment for all I know. In fact, let's go have a look at Broverlord and see what he is up to. A few Panzerschreck teams, stormtroopers getting Panzerschrecks as well. Plenty of those now. M10's opening up on these false grenadiers, who are looking in an awfully exposed situation as large hordes of infantry are swarming in like a tide of star-spangled somethings. And now we are seeing a counter-charge, but not entirely sure this is a good idea, of course, since there is a 25-pounder gun and a mortar, which could of course turn all of this into a unmitigated disaster of death. And there we go, first mortar round hitting. We are seeing Allied war machine up, meaning of course that M10 will instantly be appearing in there. And now we are seeing a huge retreat as the riflemen are all equipped with BARs opening up. Stu 4 out for FriskyPiranha opening up. And Puma's just continuing to blast away. Sticky bombs being lobbed with vigor by the riflemen. One Puma will have a damaged engine from that. German sniper continuing to just take shots. And the 25-pounder gun opens up, opting to try and knock out this bunker. One medic is dead. The bunker is certainly not looking too well put together now. Another medic killed. Not entirely sure why these grenadiers are continuing right into the zone of the artillery. And a Stu 42 is now up as well. M10 moving in. Piat rounds hitting the rear of the Stu. Who shall survive this? Looks like it will be the M10 though, something tells me. Another rear armor hit, destroyed engine, and the M10 scores a kill for Uncle Sam. The Stu 4 is lost, thus denying Mr. FriskyPiranha any sort of anti-tank capabilities. Second Stu 4 though is out. Puma is lost. My goodness, these are some rather heavy losses for the Wehrmacht forces, unable to really contain the Allied threat. They seem to be sort of working each on their own. And Mr. FriskyPiranha just seems to be neglecting infantry to actually support his vehicles and armor, and this is certainly costing him most dearly. And I'm also surprised he isn't really getting any Nebelwerfers to actually support in that way either. Grenadiers getting ready here, it seems, but for what I cannot say. The 17-pounder, of course, is going to make quite a nuisance for the Stu 42. Stormtroopers being equipped with Panzerschrecks again. We are seeing 4 Stormtrooper squads, 3 Grenadier squads, teams, and all equipped with Panzerschrecks. And a firestorm knocking out the M10, but also the Stu 4. That's certainly a bad move from FriskyPiranha, leaving this a smoldering incendiary landscape. Everything is on fire. And what is this? The Cromwell cruiser tank. And the German infantry positions are getting hit by 25-pounder fire. Grenadiers and Stormtroopers moving in with the Panzerschrecks. And they might be able to score some kills there. There we go. Mortar pit is finally rendered neutral. Might be going in for this 17-pounder. My goodness, the Stu 42 is moving in too quickly, it seems like. Straight into the line of fire of the 17-pounder. There we go. Rear armor hit. Veterans 1, of course, providing a bit of protection. Stormtroopers moving in on this armor command truck. Will they be knocking it out? And looks like the entire northern front has collapsed. FriskyPiranha's not awfully brilliant plan has failed. Artillery fire being sent in to perhaps try and stop these Stormtroopers, but it hits in the wrong place. Stu 42 moving in. And Cromwell tank opening up on the stormtroopers with support from a bit of British infantry. Who shall win? And now, in the meanwhile, FriskyPiranha is getting absolutely forced back into his own base, and a second Stu 42 is called in. My goodness, I'm not entirely sure that's going to be help. Veterancy 3 up for the German infantry under Broverlord, hoping to hunt down this Cromwell, but it is too swift, too fast, too dashing. But apparently not fast enough in the face of the elite Sturmtruppen. And looks like this 17-pounder might get knocked out. My goodness. Looks like Grimsdottir's positions are getting slowly unraveled. The second Stu 42 now moving in. Field command truck not looking too good either. But that is certainly the same case for FriskyPiranha's base. Barely anything left. No anti-tank assets. It looks like he's finally gotten a creek barracks himself. We'll probably be getting a pack. And now artillery being summoned in, probably by a British lieutenant. There we go. Most swift in getting called in. 17-pounder is lost. Cromwell, though, will be able to deal with these Stu 42s. And my goodness, what it is. Calliope opening up a huge barrage of rockets, forcing the German Stu 42s to get out of there. And one is buttoned down, might be taken out. Yes, looks like it. Stormtroopers, though, moving in. But I doubt it will be in time, though. Grenadiers also on the move. British American infantry getting torn apart. Grenades being dropped on the Grenadiers. Killing 2. My goodness, this is rather horrific infantry losses. Cromwell is lost. Grenadiers, though, are forced to retreat alongside the Stormtroopers. FriskyPiranha certainly slowly, finally pushing back, but barely any victory points left for the Germans. The Speerverbande has certainly not blockaded anything, and now an M-Force German joins the fight as well. And again, Mr. Broverlord does not look like to have a lot to actually stop him, but there we go. Tiger might be ready. The Tiger might save the situation, or of course it might not. In fact, let's go have a look at FriskyPiranha, who is quite far away from actually getting a King Tiger, which again could also be a bit of help there. But again, his sort of heavy support and armored car force is not really able to rake up the command points to gain this. Grenadiers taking up position here, getting hit from all sides as the